Jim, here's Steve, and he's going to tell you what he found in dismantling your engine.
Well, so far, just strange stuff, I guess. There's mount arms that go here on the front of the block that, in these bolts, that where the engine mounts to the engine frame, and they put the bolt through the mount, and then they put the lock washer between the mount and the engine block. They did it on all 4 motor mounts. They also did it on the water pump, which I thought was pretty strange. Water pump bolts were loose. It was just held on by glue. These bolts were loose. This was just held on by glue.
You said there wasn't a spacer here?
Yeah, no spacer there. This bolt was extremely tight that holds the cylinder head, front of the cylinder head on, but these 2 bolts that are inside the chain case weren't even finger tight. So eventually they would have come loose and gotten digested, I guess, maybe, who knows. I can't even, just random odd things, but we're getting it apart. And
well, also you said on the intake manifold there's some strange plug someplace.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Yep, they used the wrong plug on that. Oh, and the other thing I noticed is that on the rocker arm bolts, standard operating procedure was a cold chisel.
Oh,
to take these off. Some of these are seriously damaged beyond all repair, and we're going to have to replace them, which is not uncommon, but I was trying to get them apart to this one's pretty boogered up.
Yeah.
And the threads were, and some of them, the cold chisel was such that the nut was actually slave to the screw because it was cold chiseled into the threads, and so it unscrewed as an assembly. So
it was staked.
Yeah, it was staked. It was secured. So yeah, the oil filter bolts. One thing holding this assembly on, was the silicone.
Well, no.
These were finger tight.
So we've got silicone here, but not around the perimeter.
Well, there's a remnants of a paper gasket, and what happened is that the paper gasket tore because it was silicone to the paper gasket.
Okay.
So I took these out by hand, but it wouldn't come off, and I had to knock this off with a hammer. I knocked it off with a hammer. The glue that they used ripped the gasket through the center.
Okay.
So
the shaft is worn, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, those shafts are worn. They're just interesting stuff that we're finding.
Getting a CAT scan to check everything here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
We'll fix it all.
And how about the teeth on the? Do they replace actual timing sprockets?
Yeah, the sprockets look fine. They look new. This is worn out. You see how pointy the teeth are on this?
Yeah.
Compared to these teeth, see how this has a flat on it?
Yeah.
Well, this sprocket originally had flats on the edge of the teeth, like this one does. I don't know if you can get it in the...
Yeah, put them teeth...
yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
see how this has got a flat?
Yeah.
And this is pointy? That's because these teeth are almost completely worn out.
Yeah, and they also wear in the valley down here, and you got a crisp valley here, and that one's...
Well, you can also see, if you look, you can see that it's got a... If you look at the curve here, it's got like a ramp, because this is completely worn and it was going to start skipping.
Yeah.
Oh, and they also, look at this. They staked the...
Yeah, what is that?
Staked the circlip on there.
What's that all about? It's just...
just damage. So anyway, so we're just doing a forensic investigation when we go, oh, they also mounted the... They put the rubber buffers all together wrong on the exhaust hanger. They actually had the exhaust hanger slaved between. It was metal to metal with the rubber clamped on the outside.
That just negates the whole idea of having rubber buffers there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
so just random stuff.
How's these gaskets? Any sign of anything?
It looked like it was a little weak around the exhaust port there.
Oh, sorry about that. I got a little oil going on there.
Yeah, you got a little crazy with the cheese.
I did.
Yeah, but I'll make up for it by dumping this over.
That's what I get that's what happens when I come in and get in the middle of your stuff here. But this was...
It was leaking right through there, and they had some very interesting washers, non-original factory washers, holding that together.
Yeah.
And the fasteners were marginally snug.
Well, that's a leak right there. That's leaking right there.
Yeah, they made they took a washer about 1/4 of an inch thick, and they ground one side of it half thick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, a step washer.
And so they made a stepped washer, but they made it so thick that it was only clamping the intake manifold, not the exhaust manifold.
Okay. Yeah.
And I took them loose. I mean, even though the coefficient of friction was just the lock nut, it wasn't actually clamping.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Absolutely amazing. How's the bolts look? The
Head bolts look.
well, those are. Am I looking at a pitted bolt right there?
Yeah, this is a
That's
bolt.
all
This is a
pitted.
bolt. This is a bolt that's a used bolt that's been glass beaded or sandblasted and cleaned and then reused.
But it's pitted from corrosion, isn't it?
From previous though.
Yeah,
this is a used bolt that had previous leakage on it.
Right. So we're not. We always put in new head bolts.
Yeah.
That's I mean, that's just. I don't understand. I don't
Anyways,
understand people.
so we're
Okay. It's all right. It's a start.
yeah.
I wonder what that red dot is for. Is that
That's the timing mark.
Oh, that's the advanced, full
Yeah,
advanced
yeah.
mark. Okay.
When they painted the block after they put all this stuff in. So the washer and this bushing are all painted in
They're
place,
all-
and it's made things interesting getting it apart.
I would think so. It would, it's interesting. Whatever our ring gear looks like, I guess we'll know when we get
We'll
that
find
apart.
out, yeah, we'll get it apart.
There's more inspections doing.
Yep.
Head gasket, anything?
Didn't notice anything alarming on the head gasket. Didn't see any signs of any huge fire ring was sealing all the way around and that kind of stuff. Didn't see any. I didn't turn the head upside down and look at that. I just pulled it off. I wasn't ready to go into full inspection mode yet. But it looks like it was clamping evenly.
Yeah, it's just a. Yeah. Looks okay. No, okay. Groovy. Well, good for a start anyway. So
Yeah.
just bring you up to speed, Jim. Okay, this is the workmanship that we have to deal with, and this was a brand new, almost a 0 mileage engine, and fortunately, Jim, you figured out that there was going to be problems with it, and good thing you knew enough to take care, let us know about it. The stud here for that came out.
That came out and had a bolt in it because that's part of the alternator conversion because that stud gets in the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we're going back with.
Yeah, we'll fix that when we go back together.
Pretty amazing. All right, well, glad you figured out we need to do some work on this, Jim. Thanks. See if I can turn this off. Get